Yo, what's going on, you guys? This is the NY0 Hour. I think we're going to lean away from more of the podcast ideas of here. We're still going to do some. I think with the Giants season coming up, we're going to do one after the games and all that. Not directly after the games, maybe like the day after or something. But, got that coming up. The Mets are lining it up right now. Got to get back on them. Lots been going on. So, sorry. But yeah, Giant season coming up. So in this video, we are going to look into, I'd say more so key players. Key players, I tried doing most of the roster, but that was way too long. So the key players and my prediction for their stats on the year. Let's do it. All right. Oh, Graham Gano's still up. So let's start with our good old quarterback. Where'd he go? Somewhere. There he is. Oh, DJ. So I think if he plays the full year, he's gonna obviously have a big chip on his shoulder. At this point, he's clearly fighting for the job. We've seen Hard Knocks. They were trying to get rid of him. They were trying to draft someone else, and clearly he knows that. So, he was told. I'm sure he watched. So, I don't think he's gonna take that very lightly. And we all know his personality is kind of blah. But I think deep down I'm sure he's definitely upset. Deep down he's upset. And who wouldn't be, to be completely honest? You have a job for multiple years and now they're trying to replace you. And you just signed a contract for a lot of money. So, if he has a good year meaning he plays most of the season, then I could see him having a similar to 2022. I'm going to put him around 3,000 yards. That's just for passing. Rushing, I could see him. What did he have last year? Does it say here? Yes. Well, obviously. So, 2022, he had 708 yards. Yeah. I don't think he's definitely not gonna have as much coming off of the injury. I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna put him around 400, maybe a little over, maybe a little under, but that's just because he's coming off of the leg injury. And again, that's if he plays the full season, which who knows. All right, so now let's go to our wide receivers. Let's start with Malik Neighbors. Let's start with the new guy on campus or something. Obviously, has no stats. So, Malik Neighbors, I think he's gonna have a pretty good year. I don't think it's gonna be to what everybody wants it to be, but that's solely because of the quarterback room. That's nothing against him himself. It's just because of the quarterback room. Like I said, DJ needs to stay healthy if he wants to get his stats. And with DJ being healthy, did I even mess that up? With DJ being healthy, I think Malik will have a really good year. Not to what everybody wants it to be, because everybody wants him to be like to the Jamar Chase level immediately or Jefferson level. I do think Malik's going to hit over 1,000 yards with DJ staying healthy. And I think he's going to get around 10 touchdowns, maybe a little under 10, because of what our wide receiver room is at this current moment. There's multiple weapons that DJ can throw to as long as he can get the ball off. Yeah, so I think Malik Nabers is going to have 1,000-yard season. But I don't think it's going to be like way over 1,000 yards. I think it's going to be around 1,000 yards, maybe a little under. But yeah, I think he's going to have around 10 touchdowns too. I think he's definitely going to be close to what Giants fans want him to be immediately. But in his rookie year, I think he's gonna be pretty good. So yeah, and then moving on to, let's do Wan'Dale Robinson. So Wan'Dale coming off a pretty good year. Obviously, he missed a chunk of games because he got hurt in 2022. So his yardage, he only started 8 games. He played 15, so he played most of the year, or pretty much the whole year. I think he's gonna have, obviously it's his 3rd year, but I think he's gonna have a career year for himself. He only has 2 touchdowns in his career. I think he's gonna have. I'm gonna put him at 4 or 5 touchdowns this year. Like I said for Malik, it's because of the wide receiver room. There's so much that can happen. There's more consistent wide receiver play right now. And obviously they had to do some jet sweeps, and he has a touchdown there. So, put it at 5. Well, because I'm sure he's gonna get another rushing touchdown this year. And then yardage, I'm gonna put him around, I'm gonna put him over 600 yards, and that's combining both of these. So definitely over 600 for sure. And then Darius Slayton, probably technically a wide receiver 2 at this current moment. Wide receiver 1, I don't know. He's been our most consistent player. He always fights for DJ in interviews and stuff, even when the interviewers try and get him to say something he doesn't want to say. But I'm gonna put this out there. I think he's gonna have like 6 or 7 touchdowns, around the same amount of yards, 700 plus, because Malik's definitely gonna be more prominent in that room compared to the other ones. Malik's gonna get the most attention from the quarterbacks and definitely the defense. So, but with getting a lot of attention from the defense, that opens up for Slayton and Wan'Dale, and hopefully Hyatt. We'll look at his stats, but I don't know. I think Hyatt's gonna be a casualty again for the wide receiver room. Yeah, I'm gonna put Slayton at around this again. As much as I don't like to say that, I think he's gonna have around. I think he's gonna get a touchdown or 2. He's finally gonna get a touchdown or 2. But yeah, the wide receiver room, he's gonna fall to the 4th spot, which he shouldn't, because our room is full of speed right now. So. And then honestly, I'm gonna talk about Theo Johnson super quickly, and Bellinger. So Bellinger right now is listed as our tight end 1. I don't think that's gonna last long. I'm gonna put him over 300 yards. I think he's gonna have 2 or 3 touchdowns, but I see Theo Johnson taking over that tight end 1 spot just because He's had a lot of comparisons to Waller, and yeah, he's more versatile than I believe Bellinger can be. Because I, you know, gosh, I can't speak right now. Theo is better at moving around, I guess. I don't know how to word that correctly. Uh, but, and he's from Penn State. So, obviously he has no stats, though. But I see Theo Johnson getting around 500, 600 yards. Maybe more. Giants history, tight ends are some of the quarterback's best friends. So I could see that definitely being a possibility here. And so I said over 500. I'm gonna say he's gonna have around five touchdowns to start his career. He's definitely gonna be a bigger name for DJ to get to. Over Bellinger, over Hyatt, which again sucks. Wandale's going to get you the yards to get down the field, chunk yardage. Malik, he's going to do practically everything on the field. Slayton, he'll get you for those big chunk yards down the field. If DJ can get the ball down there. Because O-line on paper looks better. That's just on paper at this current moment. If they themselves can stay healthy, they can keep DJ healthy. Because we worked on that O-line in the offseason. So let's just hope. All right, let's go to Dex. Dex, he only had 4.5 sacks last season. I see him getting back up here, maybe around 7 to 8. Combined tackles, I'm gonna put him. I think he's gonna have like a 2022 season again. And I'm saying that because of the line that we have at this current moment. There's him, Burns, and Kayvon. Those three are gonna be lethal in my definitely biased but opinion. He's coming off a little bit of a down year compared to 2022. But that's also, I would assume, partially because teams kind of figured out, he's gonna be right there in our faces all the time and all that. But with this, like I said, this line that we have, I think he's gonna go back to 2022, have similar stats to this year. Now going to Kayvon had 11.5 sacks last season. I'm gonna put it out there. I think he's getting 14 this year. If I want to come back down to earth a little bit, I'll put him at 9. I think he's gonna have a very productive year. Now, like I said, I'm gonna keep going back to this when I talk about the defensive line. The line we have, they have to focus on one of the bigger 3 names each play, because I can see someone always being close to that quarterback, disrupting the play, putting pressure, something. Something's going to happen on almost every play for one of the big three, to get close to that quarterback or even get the sacks. So, yeah. Big number, 14. Realistically, 9. Tackles, combined tackles, I think he's going to have over this. I think he's going to have around 60. And let's go to Burns. Let's get the line done, because obviously Nacho and then Chapman and Jordan Riley, they're going to be their backups. All right, Brian Burns. Last season, 8 sacks. Prior season, 12.5. I'm going to put him right there with Kayvon. Put him around 9. I'm not going to say what I just said again for the probably 5th time. But yeah. Tackles, combined tackles, I think he's going to have around 60. I think, like I said, him and Kayvon, they're putting the work together. They're hanging out together. They're going fishing and all that. So their chemistry is going to be really good. So yeah, that's the line. So Bobby O. Where's O? is. There he is. All right. So, total tackles. Solo tackles, he's had 90, just about 90 plus the past 3 years. Combined tackles, he's had over 130 the past 3 years. I see him hitting the over 100 tackles this season. And combined, obviously, I think it's going to be over 160, if that's what I'm saying. I think he's going to have a couple interceptions again. He had 2 last season. I think it's going to be the same this season. He's going to have a couple sacks. Probably around the same. Maybe 3, 4. But, and then Micah McFadden's going to be right next to him. Isaiah Simmons is going to be in and out of there because they've already said they've been trying him out at safety. I think that's a smart idea because he did play it. He's an all-around player, so he can do a lot for us. Safety, linebacker, anywhere. Micah McFadden. I see him getting a little bit more than this. Not too much more. Him and Bobbio were awesome for us last year. Solo tackles, I'm going to put him around 60. And then over 100 combined tackles. I think he's going to have a couple more assisted tackles this year. I'm going to put him at 1 interception. And then I'll put him at 2 sacks. Let's go to Tay Banks. Where'd he go? Alright. So Tay in his rookie year, he started 15 games. 53 tackles, 2 interceptions. I'm gonna put him at 3 interceptions this year. And I'm gonna put him at 70 combined tackles. That's what I think he's gonna do this year. I know obviously a lot of people are currently a little down on him just because of clips we've seen. Him getting torched in the practice with the Jets. The whole cornerback room was getting torched that practice. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers off the Achilles and all the extracurricular stuff he's been doing. So that was going to be tough regardless, but I think a lot of people are kind of overreacting about it. He's still young. He's got time to figure it out. Maybe he's not a cornerback 1, but I think maybe that's partially why they brought Adoree Jackson back in, because now Tay Banks doesn't have all that pressure on him to go nuts, go crazy on the field, because the rest of the cornerback room is kind of garbage. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I didn't go over Singletary. Wow. That's not it, guys. Sorry about that. Singletary. So, I said this in the first try of this video. He's had his stats compared to Saquon's stats are very similar, and I've heard a lot of people say that. He played 10 games last year. I don't remember how many games Saquon played last year, but he wasn't too far off of Saquon. Saquon had 900 something yards, and Singletary had 898. He had 4 touchdowns. I see him getting around 800 again, over 800 yards, and I think he's gonna have. I'm putting him at 6 touchdowns. And then receiving yards. Yeah. I'm put him around 200 receiving yards because they're definitely gonna play out of that. They're gonna use him in that way. Tyrone Tracy also, I think he's gonna take over that running back 2 spot, in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see how it all ends up. Tyrone Tracy's obviously coming back off an injury, but I see him definitely taking over running back 2, maybe even 1 if he's that good. He's a wide receiver transition to running back. So that's why I think they're definitely going to use him a lot in screenplays and stuff like that. So yeah, for season record, Giants fan bias, 9-8. Realistically, either 6-11 or 7-10. That's just me being realistic for these guys. So yeah, alrighty, you guys. Thank you for checking and watching the video. Gonna have more Giant stuff coming as the season begins and goes on. Gotta get back to the Mets stuff as well. And, Knicks and Rangers are right around the corner. So, yeah, I'm going to the Giants game on Sunday. So, let's go Big Blue.